Hi, I'm Zima, a digital marketing expert, and today I'm going to talk about how to achieve work-life balance when working remotely. We interviewed almost 100 entrepreneurs and asked them for their tips on what is the best remote work-life balance. And this week I'm actually going to go through a couple of them and just see what we have learned. So my three favorites so far are going to be listed in a blog that we just published. But number one is you've got to disconnect for real. And being unplugged is something literal that can actually save you stress in the workplace and at home. But I'll tell you what Alexandra said. She's a marketing director for Enola Labs. As a full-time remote work employee, it is easy to lose track of time at home. One trick I use to ensure I am not overworking and taking actual breaks and unplugging from the work during non-working hours is to completely power down my computer. When the workday is over, I sign off and turn off my laptop and shut it closed. The physical act of doing this helps me set boundaries and not fall into the temptations of working late into the evening. Alexandra, that's a great tip. Another thing that I've started to do is uninstalling apps from my phone. If you don't have a work phone and you don't use your personal phone for work, that could start blending the lines between work and personal time, and that's going to give you a lot of stress. You don't want to have a constant reminder that you have work on your phone. That's another thing that I found works when trying to disconnect. The second tip, which I found interesting, is setting screen time limits. I don't know if my work-life balance is that extreme, but let's see what Sally Fox has to say. As a copywriter, I actually find the time tracking apps stress me out. Can't agree more with you, Sally. Something about the clock ticking gives me absolute mind blank. Instead, I track the hours I spend on each client or each project with an Excel spreadsheet. Low tech is the best tech. Tuning out the constant notifications on my phone whilst working is one of my biggest challenges. There's an app called Forest which allows you to set a specific time period during which you don't want to look at your phone and plants and trees grow whilst you work. The longer you stay away from your screen, the brighter your garden grows. It's a bit childish, but it does remind me to stay on track. It's interesting that you do need bumpers, and I think everyone works differently when working remote, so you're going to have to develop a style and technology and habits. I think Forest is a great way to start developing these habits to have a good balance, but in the end, once you get into the groove of it, you don't really need a piece of technology, and keeping it low tech with a spreadsheet is really good. And then, you want to track both your time and productivity. Tara from the Introverted Coach. I use Toggle for tracking client work and sometimes to track the other tasks to see if I could be doing something quicker or spending less time on certain areas of my business. This one is key. Auditing your time is important because you'll see how much time actually goes to things that don't contribute to the bottom line, and you're actually neglecting things that are helping your bottom line. I also use Rescue Time browser extension. It shows me how productive I am and what website tools I'm spending my time on. This whole time display thing and a breakdown and a reading of what time you're spending on your phone and these other apps instilling this sort of resource for us to audit our time is a great add-on. So make sure you're auditing your time and trying to allocate it and keep it low tech. So this was a really interesting contribution. Let me know if you have any sort of productivity hacks. You don't have to be a remote worker. If you're working online, this is something that we can all learn from and help ourselves become more productive in the daily grind.